Well, good morning, guys. So yesterday was a windy day. We had, I don't know, sustained winds of like 20 some miles an hour. Interestingly, those little white stools stayed right where they were. Didn't move at all. But we had gusts of like 50 miles an hour. I was kind of worried about our solar panels at one point, but they didn't move at all. Everything was steady. I was out here kind of watching them, and you know, the wind would blow and you'd hear them kind of, I don't know, not crackle or whatever, but you'd hear the, you know, the force pushing on them, and but nothing moved, nothing bowed or whatever. Our ladders, I've got ladders sitting up against the back wall because we were putting the first couple of purlins up on Monday, and the ladders were sitting there going bang, 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 bang against against the wall. I didn't even go move them, but you'll be happy to know those big IBC totes didn't blow away. But yeah, other than that, it looks like everything held up pretty well. Nothing really blew around. Our bicycles tipped over, so we went ahead and well, my bicycle tipped over, and Lisa tipped her bicycle over so it wouldn't blow over. Those sheets of metal we got laying out on the ground, they didn't blow off, so that was nice. That would have sucked. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna get to work on the roof and get the rest of the purlins up and maybe get some tin up today. Well, it doesn't look like everything fared quite as well. Our flimsy little outhouse that we never actually used, I don't know, we threw it up like the first couple days we were here, and then I kind of lost interest in it, so it didn't get finished. Looks like most of it's still in decent condition. Just ripped out a few screws. Well, probably just tipped over and the top popped off. Oh well, we can reuse most all of it. Say hello to my little friend. Well, happy Friday, guys. So we are getting back to work on the purlins here today. Wednesday I got a few of them done. I had the first one done and the second one kind of half-assed. I was actually joining the purlins together in between the rafters and decided that was a bad plan. So now I have I think they're called scarf joints, whatever, you know, where you do like a 45-degree cut and kind of push them together right above the rafters. I do have that one there I cut a little bit off, so I threw an extra board just in case. It is overlapping, but only by about 1/4 of an inch. So I thought an extra board there would be nice. And I did that one as well just because yeah, anyway. But I think I have it down now, so we'll get to work and get the other 5 of them up, and that'll be done today. Yesterday we went and picked up some used data center batteries. They're I can't remember what the name of the company is. It's like Enersys or something like that. They're 123 amp hours, 12 volt batteries, absorbed glass mat, blah blah blah. So here they are, data safe, blah blah blah. Yeah, it is enersys.com. So they work. They basically have about as much power as our golf cart batteries, which are right there. I don't have them bridged together just yet. Basically you can see here's the positive on this bank and negative on this bank. I'm just going to tie these together and these together, and we'll be running off both banks. I've got 2 gauge, which is good enough for about 100 amps. Just made up these cables yesterday, so they're long enough for when we install this up on the wall too. I've got 0 gauge going between each of the cells. Later we'll be running multiple inverters off of each bank, so I figure the 0 gauge will make sense in case the individual inverters draw more than 100 amps total. But we're basically running at 50 volts, 48 volts, whatever. And we've got one 5,000 watt inverter, so 5,000 watts at 50 volts is 100 amps. So that's why I have it set to that. Or why I have that that gauge wire. You can kind of see here we're making 1,687 watts. Batteries are at 53.8 volts. They claim 100% charge, but we're still putting 24 amps into the batteries, so not quite full. It'll drop off to about 1 or 2 amps later. And you can see we're not pulling anything from the batteries currently, and we're doing 206 watts out. And I don't know if that's, I don't think that's the total amount of power being used by the inverter. I think it's more, that's the actual output to our transformer. And the transformer I currently have wired up with just a couple of 12 gauge wires, but that's because the most that inverter can put out is 20 amps, and 12 gauge is more than enough for that. And then off of that I have 2 orange wires, which are my hots, and the white wire here is my neutral, going down to a very, very safe outlet right down there. Obviously this isn't how this is going to remain wired up, but we needed power and I don't want to run a damn generator to get it, so this is our way of dealing with it. So for now, I've got all my wiring junk. Bought this, well, we'll get into that later, the crimper from Harbor Freight years ago for crimping the beads onto like steel cable, and it's worked great for doing our electrical wiring as well. Anyway, I'm ready to work on the not as much fun stuff and get my purlins up, and then yeah, we can come back and see this later and see if see how the batteries are holding up. Also, using this setup with the 5,000 watt inverter going through the transformer to power my big miter saw, it is very much more power than this guy had. I mean, they both run the saw fine, but the startup with this inverter versus this setup, when I actually pull the trigger on the miter saw, it's just like boom, on with the current setup, whereas with this blue inverter, you know, it'd kind of ramp up, it seemed. I don't know, or maybe I'm just imagining things because I think it's going to be better. Alright, I'm going to get to work.